that if I am the Prime Minister for that day, I will curb all censorship because because all the youth of the country, they end up anyway watching Game of Thrones.
Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing awesome and they are keeping themselves great. To make your day even special and brighter, I have with me someone who is an economics graduate, and she's working as a manager at a publishing book company, and she has served in 3 EC positions at Capital City Toastmasters. And for nearly a year, she has not taken up any positions even at the area level. So what was the reason that you didn't contest for area level elections? Is it because you got to know that Arpit is contesting for it?
Well, first of all, hi, a big hi to everyone. And I can see Ananya has started off with some of the controversial questions right from the beginning. But I would say that there is nothing as monumental about me not taking an area director role. It's just that I had just finished my stint as the president, and before that I was serving as the VP Ed. So I just thought, why not take a break and concentrate on my speaking skills rather than just concentrating on my leadership skills. So I just thought, let me do that, and it'll be a much needed breather. So that's why I decided not to go this time for an area director role.
Okay, perfect. So this time Arpit is already revealed in my talk show that he's not contesting. So it might be a good opportunity to fill his position maybe next time. Okay, Swasti, in your undergraduate days, you once mentioned in the meeting that you took an initiative for girls' rights. If you could talk about that for a moment.
Sure, absolutely. So when I was in college, this 16th December gang rape incident had happened in Delhi. It was a very, very shocking incident. And during that time, there were a lot of talks going on, and there were a lot of steps which were being taken by the government, because it was much talked about in the media. It was one of the cases where the victim was very, very harshly treated, and that's why it got too much attention in the media, and rightly so. So a lot of steps government was also taking, but we, the people, the college students of Delhi University and our college SRCC, we decided that the government is trying to make policy by itself. You know, they are not taking the public's opinion and the girl's opinion, the citizen's opinion, while formulating policies. So what we thought was that we as a student body will contribute something. We will contribute our thoughts and we will get together. We even involved some of our teachers who were good teachers in that regard in social sciences. So all of us got together and we took opinions of all the people around us on the campus, and we thought that we will create a document and give it to the government. There was this Justice Verma committee which was deciding all the rules for how to treat gang rape victims and how to sort of have protocols and how to expedite justice for them. So we prepared a document and we presented them to this committee, and so that's how we thought we will contribute towards this grave cause.
That's so noble of you, Swasti. I mean, I could think that your contributions did make an impact on that incident. So before this talk show began, I asked Swasti about her interests, what interests her, and she gave quite unique interests, to be honest. One of them was watching web series. Now, first of all, I doubt, how did it develop as an interest? Was it because overdosing Bollywood movies which resulted you to change your tastes?
Well, I think I have been a great fan of Bollywood movies, but the passion for watching web series is something that has been, I think everybody does that nowadays with the advent of OTT, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Everybody does that. But sort of developed because I really like those American sitcoms where those American sitcoms provided a alternative to what we have been watching. So it was like a nice shift. There was a bit of newness in that. So that's how it happened. And also, so right now I'm afraid to say that I have been missing a lot of meetings in CCT, and I regret that because of my work commitment. I am not able to do that. But I'm nowadays watching this web series called Boston Legal, and it's a show about lawyers. But then all I see them doing is public speaking. Like they speak their speeches in front of the juries. So and they present a case. So they have to give an opening statement, an opening speech, and then when they have tried the case, they give a closing speech. And I can't help but wonder that I really like this show because even though I have not been able to practice public speaking myself, I'm in a way practicing watching long speeches and people making their cases. So yeah, there is this sort of newness in these web series that I really like.
Perfect. So does that pain your heart when you must have got this news that the OTT platforms will be regulated by a common regulator in India? I mean, your views on a Sanskari web series?
Well, absolutely. When I heard the news that the OTT platforms are going to be regulated by the government, my mind straight away went to this impromptu speech topic that I had gotten once. So the topic was like, if you are the Prime Minister for one day, what will you do? And it was an impromptu topic in table topic session, and I could not think of anything. But during those times, we used to see Game of Thrones, okay? And Game of Thrones it is one show, as everybody knows, that it is one show which the government would deem that this so definitely needs regulation, if not any other show, but this show is something that really needs regulation. So during that time, that show was really popular, and I gave a speech that if I am the Prime Minister for that day, I will curb all censorship because all the youth of the country, they end up anyway watching Game of Thrones and the live shows anyway on these platforms. And the government today has done the exact opposite of regulating the OTTs also. So I was really shocked with this news. And I have also started observing that in some of the shows they really cut some of the things also, those incidents where they censor the word.
Yes.
So okay, I'll name the word B ******. Okay, they change it with WITCH. And we're like, हमें तो समझ ही नहीं आया था तुम क्या बोलना चाह रहे हो.
Oh my God. That's so creative with the change. I mean, hats off to those who are censoring. I can assure you, if you stand as an independent candidate in our elections, you'll definitely get elected as the Prime Minister because of this mandate. And the second interesting hobby that Swasti mentions, really unique than the first hobby, is talking with people. First of all, my sympathies to the class teacher who taught you, despite having this hobby. And secondly, if you could elaborate this hobby, like you just go randomly in the street and talk up to people out there, or how do you practice this hobby?
All right. Well, I would begin by saying that in school, I was a very quiet student. all my grades were really good, and at every PTA meeting, my parents used to get the same remarks from all the teachers. She's very good with studies, but she doesn't speak anything. That is the remark every time my teachers used to say. And my parents were like, "Bete bola karo." And I'm like, "Okay, but kya bolu?" So I have been a very quiet student, and all my teachers have complained throughout my schooling that she doesn't speak a lot. And that is why I decided to sort of change it in my college and in my master's program. So it sort of happened in my master's program that it was a class of 200 students from across the world. I was studying in the UK. So I just thought that it is a unique position for me to be in, and a unique opportunity that I can speak with so many people out there from different parts of the world. Like, there was somebody from Colombia, there was somebody from Costa Rica. Our college was in the UK, but only one student was there from England, and all of the other students were from all across the world. Like, some of the countries I hadn't even thought, Turkey, Egypt. So I just thought that if I don't speak now, I will be losing out on a lot. So I just thought I'll make it a point that I meet, like, I set up a date and I meet one person every other day, like every weekend or so. So that's how I decided I'll talk to people. So I used to fix up a meeting with one of my classmates to just sort of get to know about them. And definitely, like, if I liked talking to them, I would continue doing that also. But I made it a point to talk to as many people, have personalized conversations with them. And at the end of that time, I realized that I really like talking to people. So just like getting to know where they are coming from, getting to tell them where you are coming from. And it's just a wonder that there are so many different kind of personalities, even though there are people from different parts of the world, but there are kind of similarities also. Okay? They being youth, we in our country being the youth, how our issues are somehow intermingled and interrelated. So all of this I really liked, and I think part of the reason why I joined Toastmasters was this also, that I really like talking to people. Yeah.
Perhaps even I could relate right now that your reason for contesting for VP education was probably, the reason behind taking up this role was this reason only. So for those of you who are not aware of Toastmasters, VP education is that role. First of all, it's a very creative role where you need to persuade members to take up roles in a meeting. But VPs are usually outsmarted by the members with their creative excuses. So Swasti, if you have any such experience where you heard someone saying your creative excuse of not taking a role in the meeting, please feel free to share.
So I would like get to hear a lot of creative excuses. For example, if I would talk to Rahul, so I would just call him up and say, "Rahul, can you take a speaker slot this week?" Rahul would be like, "Okay, Swasti, I would have loved to, but I have a date with Anjali this Friday." And somebody like if I would talk to another member saying, "Hey, can you take up the team mod role this week?" So they would probably say, I really would, but I really can't. I just can't. So I would have to be extra convincing in my approach, and I would say that, "Hey, so I had a breakup this week. I got fired from my job and I'm going through a really bad time. Please take T-Mod." Then they would probably consider, "Acha, theek hai. Worse things are happening with her, so let us just take T-Mod." So some of the creative, like exaggerated creative excuses I've got to hear.
Okay, perfect. I think those of you who have been duped by Swasti, they won't spare you right now if they're hearing this podcast. Okay, so we'll now come on to the... Exactly. So coming on to the last question of this segment, you have been associated with Toastmasters for more than 2 years. Can you share one beautiful memory that you have, that you had experienced the time that you have been associated with Toastmasters?
All right. So
I think my most memorable time in Toastmasters has been the time that 1 year when I was in the VP, first as VPN and then as president. Quite honestly, I enjoyed being the VPN more than president because as VPN, it sort of connected me to my favorite hobby of talking to people. And why I really enjoyed that time was because I got to know about so many people, like their dreams, their aspirations, why they have joined Toastmasters, and sort of aligning certain roles with their ambitions. It kind of started giving me a kick because I could solve people's problems by being the VPN. So talking to them, I really enjoyed that a lot.
But one day which I really remember is when I was giving my presidential address. It was the installation ceremony and I gave my presidential address. I think I remember that in the beginning of that meeting, I was coughing a lot. Probably it was the winter's time and I was probably not feeling very well. I was coughing a lot. So I was really concerned that I have to give my presidential address. How will I do this? I think I'll definitely fall into a fits of cough in between my speech and I'll not be able to give. So I went outside and I drank water. I made myself better, collected myself better. And when the time of the speech came, I think I sort of forgot everything. I forgot about my sore throat and every kind of illness. And because it was such a beautiful feeling to be able to give out a speech, and my aim was to sort of inspire the people out there. And I had just come out of being in my VPN role. So I was really inspired to inspire the people. So I really enjoyed giving that speech, and I remember at the end of my speech, a couple of people stood up also. So I was like, are people supposed to stand up after a presidential speech? But apparently not. But the 2-3 people who did might have gotten a bit. If I could impact them even a tad bit, so I think that was a mission accomplished for me that day. So I think, that day is one day which is really, really memorable for me.
That's something very inspiring for all of us, that beautiful day, the day that you gave your presidential address. Now we'll move on to the second segment of this talk show, that is the impromptu speaking or the table topic session that we fondly call it at Toastmasters. So in this session, a speaker is provided with a topic by the table topic master on the spot, and the speaker needs to speak for 1 to 2 minutes impromptu. Swasti, for your convenience, I'll write it in the chat box when 1 minute, 1.5 minutes and 2 minute elapses, so you can time your speech accordingly. Are you all geared up for the table topic that you're about to receive?
Yes.
Perfect. Your table topic is, if I could eat only 3 foods in a day.
All right. If I could eat only 3 foods in a day, the first food I would eat would probably be something that is fortified in confidence. Because confidence is one thing that can really make a difference. It is said a lot that you should be confident and everything you do is supposed to have confidence. But it is at times very difficult to imbibe within yourself. At the times when I really need confidence, what I do is that you sort of have to fake it till you become, because confidence is something that is almost as if you take as a nutrient, you sort of have it in yourself, and whatever you're doing, you just do it with confidence, and and you sort of have to fake it till you become it. Even if you're not getting it from inside, you have to manufacture it as if by eating a food, and just be confident in whatever you're saying. And another two foods that you talked about, three foods. So one is confidence. The other two foods I would really consider eating would be an apple and an orange.
Okay.
Because you can't just sustain off confidence. You need to eat something in order to survive. So despite, I think after food and water, confidence should be one thing which you really need to have to survive in the world. But definitely you need food and water first. So eat food and then get good confidence. So yeah.
Swasti, that was extremely creative. I enjoyed it. Your table topic speech throughout. I couldn't even imagine you could talk of confidence being one of the foods you would like to consume. Absolutely amazing, Swasti. And we come towards the final and the interesting segment. That is the rapid fire segment. Swasti, you are going to face 6 questions. How are you feeling right now?
A bit nervous. कि भाई क्या पूछने वाला है अनन्यो?
Trust me, it's not going to be that bad, but I think you could answer it. So nothing to fear, Swasti. You could nail it. I hope you are pumped. Okay, great. Now here's your first question. What's the last show that you binged and loved?
Boston Legal, still watching it. 5 out of 5 seasons, I'm on the 4th one right now.
If you could win an Olympic medal for any sport, real or fake, what would it be?
It would definitely be eating.
If you could ask God one question, what would it be?
I would ask God that why does gender biases exist? Like, we could do without them.
Your favorite cartoon show growing up?
Tom and Jerry.
That one question you do not like anyone to ask you?
When do you want to get married?
The final question is, if Toastmasters International were to have a brand ambassador, whom were you to choose amongst the following? Dheeraj, Rahul, Pragya?
Okay, out of the 3, I have to choose a brand ambassador.
For Toastmasters International. And why would you choose?
Okay, that's a very difficult question. For brand ambassador of Toastmasters.
Okay. So that brings an end to this talk show. Swasti, if you have any final thoughts before leaving this beautiful memories that you have created with me here right now.
I would say I really had a good time with you, Ananyo. You're a really good host. Sharp looking also. It sort of made me put on this blazer. Ke, oh, Ananyo is going to look sharp. So I really thoroughly enjoyed. And I would just like to give a message to all the members and all the people associated with Toastmasters. And it's just that I think just being in a club and just taking up roles, it might be something that we are sort of expected to do. Like, we have paid the membership fee, so let's just come for a meeting and give a speech or two. But I think one of the most, how this experience can become one of the most memorable ones is through the people all around. And I think we have so many things, like we have informal meetings after our formal meetings on Zoom. So we have so many ways that we can connect with all the other members. We have our mentorship programs associating with the EC positions. We have so many ways through which we can talk to other members behind the scenes, outside of the meetings also. And I think that all of us should grab those kind of opportunities of talking to all the people, because that is something that is going to mark all of our experiences being in Toastmasters. So I think we all should just give into this wonderful experience in order to get the most juice out of whatever time and energy and money we are spending into it. So that is what I would like to say to everybody. Just don't hold back. We know you have some work commitments, home commitments, and it is often difficult to be associated in the meetings for long durations, but do give yourselves to this Toastmasters experience to the best of your possibilities, because it's going to be wonderful if you do that and just have a blast with everyone, just party.
Well, I'm sure these words would encourage not only the members but those who are not a part of Toastmasters to see and look around what Toastmasters Club actually is. Thanks for your time, Swasti. It was great having you. And with that, let's sign off. Bye.
Bye.